Alright guys, got a Gravely Pro Turn 200 series. This is a 252 commercial exactly. It's a 2012 model. It's got a Hydro-Gear ZT5400 transmission. I'm using a hydro fluid today. 20W50. Got the Valvoline VR1. It's got zinc in it. So, tools for the job. Need a 19mm. Four 19mm bolts for the skid plate. Just go on and remove it to make your life a little bit simpler. There's the ZT5400. So you need 19mm for the skid plate, an 1 1/8 for the filter caps. I don't have the skid plate off so you can't see under the transmission, but there's an 11mm drain plug in the transmission. Hydro-Gear recommends not using that plug to drain the fluid, but they put it in there. I'm going to use it. It keeps the fluid, not that it's a big deal, but it keeps all that fluid from gushing and running everywhere out of the filter housing, which is no big deal, like I said. So 19mm skid plate, 1 1/8 for the filter housing, 11mm for the drain plugs if you so choose to use those, and you'll need a flat screwdriver for the bypass valve, which is right there, the bottom flathead screwdriver. I can't reach it, the muffler's hot, so you can figure it out. There's 3 plugs there. You got the flat screwdriver blade on the bottom, the middle, and the top. On the Gravely, they don't run their line down to that one, so I use that top one, which requires a 3/8 Allen wrench. Thread that top one out, and it'll allow you to fill the fluid in from the reservoirs, and it won't vapor lock it, so you can fill them really quickly. Alright, here's the right side top plug you're setting on the machine. 3/8 hex key. Just break it free, turn it out, and then when you're filling it from your fill reservoirs, you don't vapor lock it and wait all day for it to go in. It'll breathe out. Fill that up till it starts trickling out. Put the plug back in. Recommend unthreading the, clean off all your reservoirs. Blow the whole mower off to keep a bunch of crap from getting in the reservoir. First thing I'll do is just thread both of those off and leave the caps on loose. The Gravely manual sucks as far as explaining how to do it. Half their stuff in there is backwards and doesn't tell you right. So, per the Hydro-Gear website, this is a ZT5400. So what they tell you is to remove the filter cover. It is an 1 1/8. So the simplest way on this ZT5400, you got an 11mm drain plug. Pull it out and drain it. That keeps all that filter oil from gooping out everywhere and making a mess. 11mm drain plug. It just barely threads in. It's got an O-ring on it. Let me show you. 11mm, see the O-ring there? And it just barely goes in there. It came out really easily. So, alright, here is the correct filter. Part number with O-ring. 71943. See, filter and O-ring. Hydro-Gear ZT5400. I'm going to pull that housing plug off. Filter's right in there under that. I'm not going to show you. You can figure it out. but rubber grommet goes in. So when you pull the plug off, you'll see that. Let's see here. I got a little tongue on there that you can work it out with some pliers, or maybe it looks like it's about 3/8, but you can grab a hold of it and pull it out if you need to. Rubber in first. So that sticks out like we're looking at it. If you don't use your drain plug, it's no big deal. The manual for Hydro-Gear tells you just to remove this. But it makes a bit of a mess when you pull that filter out because oil goes everywhere. Use your drain plug and drain it. And then this won't hardly run any oil at all, hardly. Alright guys, got all the fluid drained. The top of the 3 bolts there, I removed it with a 3/8 hex. That allows the case to fill up quickly. As soon as you start getting oil dripping out, place your deal back in right there and snug it up good. Don't go crazy. Here's your, let me see here. There's your freewheel switch. There's your transmission bypass. At 12 o'clock, it's bypassed. So if you want to freewheel it, push the unit around, you want it at 12 o'clock. The book from Gravely tells you everything's backwards, and it's terrible. So with the earth as drive and gear, 12 o'clock is freewheeling. To purge this system, you want it at 12 o'clock. Jack your whole unit off the ground, the rear wheels. They will spin some, but you want to be able to freewheel it. Put your bypass at 12 o'clock with a flat head screwdriver. Forward and reverse with your levers 5-6 times, and that'll purge it. Now I've done that, and I'm getting ready to turn that back with the screwdriver where it's horizontal. Right now I got it jacked up, so I'll get on the machine started. I'll have it at about almost full throttle probably, and then just actuate your levers in a nice smooth manner. Forward all the way gently and reverse all the way gently. Cycle that about half a dozen times to purge that transmission. And of course, before you do that, make sure your chocks are still in position. When this thing's jacked up, and I got it off this back ramp, but when you're doing this and you climb up on the machine, if you're using jacks, those jacks can give out at any time. You're probably better off to use jack stands, but I'm doing it this way. So when you get up on the machine, just be careful, make sure nothing falls. And while you're doing this, just be ready for the thing to give out should it happen. Hopefully it won't, but if you go for a little ride, then you just, no big deal, but just be ready for it. Alright, I got it purged. Levers forward, even and smooth, backwards, about a half a dozen times. And I'll set my ramps back under. Move my jacks. Alright, now I got the bypass valve back in the run position. Alright, now it's purged. Move my chocks and take it off the ramps, and that's it. Oh yeah, final move. Make sure your reservoirs are topped off. The manual says to the fill mark. Well, that reservoir does not have a fill mark on it. My understanding is if you're above the full cold text there, then that's in good shape. And we're about 3/4 of an inch. So that is filled according to my understanding. This one's got a little more in it. It's probably about an inch from the bottom. But it's good to go. It's just an expansion tank. As long as it's got room to expand, I think you'll be fine. And that's it.